Okay, in this last video, what we're going to do is just finish up the texturing, and then we'll go ahead and apply this in Maya. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit Alt, and we're actually just going to drag it right over here. Okay, make sure you're there. Nope. There it is. Hit Control T. And we're just going to kind of shrink this thing down a bit. I have a little bit of an issue because of the lighting. It'll look like it's curved on the top, even though it's not. So we could actually fix this. What we could do, let's just move it over a little bit. What we could do is we could go ahead and go to your dodge tool. Burn makes things lighter. Burn makes things darker. And we're just going to dodge this out a bit. So what we want to do is we want to try to get this thing to look nice and flat. It's okay if it's a little bit white. It's fine. It could be like it'll be a little bit aged. It's still a little bit. Light down there. Yeah, it's starting to look lighter now. There we go. And then if we want, we could actually hit Control L. I believe we could just slide that over to make it look a little darker. That'll work. And then just hit Alt. And we could drag that right up here. We'll see how that looks. Let's go ahead and shrink that a bit. Alright. The only thing we have to do now is just get the neck. So the neck, this is the neck on the back, I believe. So we want to make sure we get this. Just bring this in. And we only need this part here, right? So we could do this and just hit Control X, get rid of the layer, make a new layer, Control V. Now we have the neck. And we could just take this. It doesn't have to really be a great selection at all. We're just getting rid of this junk we don't need. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and move that up here. We're going to just decrease the opacity so we can see what we're doing. Hit Control T. Scale it out so it covers the whole thing. Okay. So this part will be a little bit annoying. You might want to redo that snapshot because that might not look good. You know what? I don't like this. What we're going to do is let's get rid of this. Hit the garbage can. We're going to figure out what layer. It's this layer. We're going to cut out the top here. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight it. Okay, hit Control C. Make a new layer, Control V. Just roll it over there. That's good. Control T. You know what? It'll both have strings. Control-Alt-Z, that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so since I didn't do a great job of my UV setup, it's going to look a little, not so great. We could warp it. This is where my warp tool would be nice. Warp. And we could warp it. So basically making it wider. Zoom out a little. Okay, go ahead and warp it this way. We can move it over. Alright. And then control. This is all part of the neck. You could probably even just make this brown. That might work. Okay, so we'll see what this looks like. I'm not sure if that'll look good. You might have to go back and fix it, because these will look good. This might look a little strange. So let's go ahead and save it. What we want to do is go to each layer and make sure you put the opacity back to 100. Okay. 100. And just hide this one. And go to File, Save As. Call it Guitar Textures. Click OK. Let's go to my Maya. Assign new material. We could do a blend because it's wood, so it should be a little bit shiny. Color, File. And that looks good. The back looks a little bit strange, but it's pretty good. And yeah, that'll work. Now the last thing we could do is we could go to Modify, Convert Polygons to Subdiv, and hit 3. And it just looks a little bit smoother, although I'm not really liking that, so I'm going to undo that. Yep. Maybe we could mesh smooth it. Let's see how that looks. That looks a little better. Okay, so you have a guitar, and the last thing you could do is if you want, you could build those little frets, and we could light it. So in order to get rid of these image planes, if you highlight it, and you go to here, and select the image plane only. Select image plane 2, and you put visible none. Highlight that one. Visible none. Okay, it's pretty good. And you'll notice actually when I made the guitar, I actually made the hole on the wrong side as well. So I'm not even going to use that one. I'm just going to use this. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. We don't need it. And there you go. It's pretty basic. You could put this on and texture it, but you don't need to because this is already there. So there you go. You have a nice little 3D model, and it's textured up pretty good. And it looks great. So this is what it looks like in your UV texture editor. If you click the little guy, nothing happens. Yeah, it's not allowing you to see it, but there you go. And there's your Photoshop file. So I hope you found this useful and helpful, and got an idea of basically what we did was set up image planes modeled from something, and then use those image planes to texture the object. That's a pretty good workflow. That could work. On your own, you could make the little frets up here. You could make those separately, and you're done. There you go.